Hello everyone and dear professor, my name is Wenhao Fu. So in this presentation, I bring together key ideas from three articles that discuss digital surveillance in India. So the Sanjita Mahapatra's digital surveillance and the threat to civil liberty in India talks about how surveillance has expanded and menaced personal freedoms. Pawan Science at heart and the data privacy, biometric identification, and anxieties of recognitions in Indian focus on concerns about Indians' biometric identification system. And in some cans, beyond consent, surveillance capitalism and politics in the data state looks at the bigger pictures, exploring the political and economic impacts of mass surveillance. And I will analyze these articles, highlight this stress, and point out their weaknesses. So the Mahapatra takes a strong stance against Indians' growing surveillance systems, arguing that it put people's rights at risk. She explained how the country has shifted from the monitoring specific individual to mass surveillance, involving more organizations expanding its reach and relying on artificial intelligence. She also points out how the government justifies this surveillance by calling it a public health necessity. She argues that the Indian urgent needs stronger, like the privacy laws and the policies, and to prevent abuse. One of the biggest stress of the Mahapatra's article is how well researched it is. She gave a detailed breakdown of how surveillance has grown in India and back up her claims with solid evidence. Her use of a real-world example makes her argument even stronger because it connects with other research showing that digital surveillance is a serious threat to civil liberties. That said, one major weakness of her article is that it doesn't offer solutions, while she does a great job explaining why mass surveillance is a problem. She doesn't discuss what can be done to fix it. This leaves the reader with a clear sense of the issues but no real idea of how to respond to it. So the Khan takes a different approach, arguing that a digital surveillance in India shouldn't just be about collecting data for the government or big companies. Instead, he believes it should also consider things like the social inclusion, welfare, and privacy. He warns that the mass surveillance isn't just a privacy issue. It could also harm democracy by focusing too much power in the hand of the government and corporations. This is especially concerning in a post-COVID world, where surveillance could be used to control people rather than protect them. A major stress of the Khan's argument is that it's the well-rounded. He doesn't just focus on privacy concerns. He also ties surveillance to bigger issues like too much government power and economic not balance. However, one big flaw in his article is that he doesn't provide much numerical data. While his arguments are compelling, they rely heavily on concept rather than hard facts without number to back up his claims. Some readers might find his argument less strong. Science focuses on Indians' Aadhaar system, a massive biometric identity program that collects the fingerprints and other personal data to verify identities. He talked about the tension between protecting personal privacy and ensuring public benefits. His main argument is that the while Aadhaar has its risks, the government needs to be careful in how it manages the biometric data to avoid potential harms. A key weakness of a science article is that it doesn't acknowledge the possible benefit of the Aadhaar. Well, he raised the valid concerns about privacy and data security. He missed how the system might also make things more efficient, reduce fraud, or improve access to services by only focusing on the negatives. His argument feels a bit one-sided, and some readers might find it not balanced. So, in conclusion, digital surveillance in India is the hotly debated topic, which concerned about privacy, democracy, and government power. Patrick warns about the dangers of the increasing surveillance and the lack of strong privacy laws. Kant highlights the bigger society risks of the surveillance capitalism, and assign critics biometric identification. While all three articles bring valuable perspectives, they also have gaps. Mahapatra doesn't offer a solution. Kant lacks data, and the science fails to consider the benefits of Aadhaar. Together, they paint a complex picture of the future of surveillance in India. So I have the two questions. So the first one is, how can the Indian government regain public trust and reduce fear about mass surveillance? The second one is, what step can ordinary people take to protect themselves from the negative effects of digital surveillance in their daily lives? Thank you so much.